This is Noah from Illinois Practical Karate, and he is my inspiration for the first set of Yul-Gok, the first movements. So shout out to Noah, and go check out his TikTok.
Okay, welcome back to Boonhae, Hosinsul, practical application for our patterns. We're on Yul-Gok, the beginning part. If people made a video, it should be before this one, of what they think that the first section of the pattern could be. This is just my representation. It doesn't mean it's right, it doesn't mean it's incorrect, it just means that it's my opinion. I was never taught anything for this part. I don't think many people were shown this part. The motion for Yul-Gok from me is as I move my hand out, we kind of relax our fist into the motion. It's not even a punch. I don't know exactly what it's called. I don't know if it's a block or a punch. Okay, well I just looked it up, and for one of the things that it says, all it says is extending the left fist. So it's literally just a motion. So that means nothing to me. The hand technique is a slower technique. I don't know if they consider it natural motion or if they consider it slow. Or whatever they may be considered. But the motion comes out slightly, we slightly bring our hands together. They don't typically cross, but for this motion we're going to add more of a concept of the crossing. So here, we're slowing here, and then two punches. As we're punching, there's two ways to go about doing this. Some people go full motion. This is called natural motion, even though the slow technique I wouldn't consider natural. But here we go. Okay, or the fast motion, which is, okay, typically that's the one that I prefer. It's one I grew up with, but it's also one that emphasizes technique over sine wave, so give or take, it's up to you. Whatever it could be the competition that you're in, maybe they prefer one way, maybe you're in Worlds and they prefer a different way. Makes no difference to me. For my practical application and also for strength and technique, I prefer the fast motion. So the technique is simple enough. We're crossing our hands slightly. If you go back to, I believe our Chungji, when your hands come together, your shoulders typically squeeze and your body squeezes, and we're making that. So it's kind of like if somebody came up behind me and did this again. Nobody's grabbing me except for my wrist. So switching real quick. We have one where the motion is a cross grab, real quick, switch, cross grab. As I'm coming in, typically you'll see somebody block this way to pop this out. I don't mind it, especially if you're stepping forward and breaking. I understand, that's okay, that's not bad. Or you're stepping back. Stepping back isn't bad either because you're pulling away from the person. And it works because it's cross grab. The issue I have with it is that a cross grab is typically a little bit easier to deal with if you're popping in some way, because I can twist the motion and control the hand to break it, or I can just set up for some type of controller wrist or whatever. If they're just holding this way, they're not pulling me in. So that's not what we're going with. So this one, just because I'm facing, I'm gonna do this first. So the way that the hand is facing is I'm just trying to pop off this side. So switch, we'll go back to the other hand. So this side is I want to try to pop this off, and I want to cross my left over the right. I'm not worried about the sitting stance motion. You can add it on just to be more stable. Maybe the concept is Megan is actually pulling me, and as I go for it, I go to my sitting stance. So Megan pulls me, and I basically I pop the hand off this way. Okay, that's fine, but you're not going to rely on the next setups that we're coming with. So maybe someone is just grabbing my wrist and I pop that hand off quickly, okay? Or we go to the other concept, which is they grab my wrist, I've already knocked it off, and they do it again. So now I'm going to hit them, okay? So we can take it step by step. The first set is just, she grabs my wrist, right? And I pop this off. So the cross motion is this way as I relax. This way. So all I'm doing is pop the hand off this way, okay? So I'll do her stronger side, her right hand, just to show. this, I'm cupping my hand and moving it out, just moving it this way, okay? The function is still the same. My wrist needs to turn in slightly to make sure the function is the same. I'm not trying to pop her hand off like this and expect it to pop. If she holds me tight and I gotta pop this off this way, it's not working. But if I do the pulling hand at the same time as I pop this off, this is coming to my body. It's just going to, because I'm going to break the technique down into side, and then as it pops, finally, I'm going to come out. I'm trying to go slow motion, so it's still grabbing me hard. So, slow motion, I pop here, and then I bring it to myself, and I come back, because I'm gonna use the next motion as a rotation to get to my punch, okay? So, back to the weak side real quick. So she grabs me on this side, the setup is the same, I pop, and then as I pop, I move the hand out, and I carry through to this as I'm punching, okay? So if we remember, or okay? I'm only using one punch. When Megan goes, she'll do the full range set, but same. I'm popping, pop, carry as much as I possibly can, and carry through my opposite hand, and if I need to, my other hand comes across, and that's the one that she's gonna go with, okay? So it's pretty simple. It's a simple technique. Pop the wrist off as fast as you can, and then go with your hands as fast as you can. Do I have to carry through? No, but I'm also, as I said, making it a practical application pattern. So as I pop this off, my hand comes and I rest my hand. So it's the same motion. She grabs, I pop, and I carry the hand through to go bum, bum. Okay? So it's simple. We have two in this pattern, so we have the opposite side. So when Megan goes full, it's going to be, I'm gonna grab her left side and she's gonna pop it off with the right side. Okay, so that's gonna be the full technique. So you can do one side, palm, palm, palm. Second side, right hand comes across, palm, palm, and then we carry it through. Okay, we'll save the next part. Maybe somebody else came up with this part in the beginning of the video, or we can just move on to it in the next one. So now we're gonna go through the motion real quick. It's gonna go full speed, and I'll break it down one more time before we end the video. It's very simple. If it wasn't for where it was in the pattern section for high green, it wouldn't even be, it would be a chungy movement, but it's because of how simple it is. But simple typically works well enough, so there's no reason to make anything more. Practical is simple, typically, okay? All right, ready? Good. So it's a simple technique. Typically, what I'm going to hear is that the woman's not going to be able to pull the hand off. If I'm doing one-handed motion, so I grab like this, if she is just trying to hit my hand off, okay, if she's just trying to hit my hand off, no, it's not going to work. Your whole body has to be in motion to what you're trying to do. So if I just break it down a little bit, when she grabs my wrist, the first thing I'm going to do is make it so it's harder for her to pull me. If I'm this way, she's gonna have full length of my arm. The first thing I wanna do is try to pull it back a little bit and try to turn my thumb towards my body. This allows my wrist to be turned towards her weak point of her hand, which is where the thumb is, obviously, okay? So I can hit it this way. But if you practice martial arts, maybe you hammer fist it this way. Okay, that's a preferred one. The reason why I do open hand this way is because I don't want to hurt Megan. I probably wouldn't, but the point is that if I'm hitting this enough times, I could do something bad. So I don't want to necessarily do that every time. So opening my hand just kind of creates a slap, and it's much more gentle. But if it's reality, you probably do want to slam it as hard as you can with your bone on this side, or you use your fist. You punch it in, or you hit your knuckles, or you do back fists like this, or you cram your elbow on top of it. I don't care, whatever works for you. But You have to break it. Even if I do all that, if she's holding tightly and I don't try to make some type of creation of form within my wrist, this isn't coming off. I can hit this all day and hit it like this. I'm still coming with her if I don't try to create the form of the escape. As long as there's a flat surface for her to hold on to, this isn't coming out, okay? Unless I use 2-on-1 and I'm stronger than she is. Then it might work, okay? So, create some type of resistance to where that they are not moving and they are structurally still. This is still. This becomes an easier thing to break free because it is not wiggly. If she was loose and I go to hit her, it's going to go wherever I go. But if I'm strong, I'm keeping her in place. Doesn't matter how wiggly she is, this is coming off because I'm creating structure. And we're this far in, I shouldn't be explaining this, but I'm going to anyway just so I want to. Okay? So, form, even if tight, even if it's just this, you're fighting against the thumb. Just this is good. Okay? Then you're hitting. I'll stand square just to stay with the pattern. This way, depending on who your partner is. Some people like to grab, right? And that's okay too. If you have the good form to grab and pop yourself out, you're still working on the pattern. Still working on the pattern. It's still the same. Just find what you prefer and work with it. What works for you? If you're like a jiu-jitsu person, your specialty is grips. Why would you hit this? You grip and you pop it out this way, right? That works fine. Especially if I'm looking to pull this person across and punch this way. It doesn't matter. My point is I need to get out of the wrist. Okay? So, bomb. Bomb. You don't need to do this part either, the carry through. That's just extra. Okay? But if I'm here already, and I pull this here, I pull this across and I go this way, it's still the same motion. It makes no difference. How you apply it, only if it works best for you. Okay? This motion, hum, is the same. Okay? Practice that with a partner. Many ways to practice it. Find one that works best for you, and go train.